To accelerate the creation of a clean energy economy, we will double our capacity to generate alternative sources of energy like wind, solar, and biofuels over the next. The first is almost guaranteed to double healthcare costs over the next decade, leave millions more Americans without insurance, leave those with insurance vulnerable to arbitrary denials of coverage, and bankrupt state and federal governments. A new report for the Business Roundtable, a nonpartisan group that represents the CEOs of major companies, found that without significant reform, healthcare costs for these employers and their employees will well more than double again over the next decade. We're fixing our broken health insurance system that's crushing families, eating away at workers' take-home pay, and nailing small businesses with double-digit premium increases. Jobs for engineers and construction crews to create wind farms and solar plants that are going to double the renewable energy we can generate in this country. These are the jobs. In fact, one small business, a third-generation family-owned clothing shop called Getz's, is now selling their products online, which has helped them to double their workforce and make them one of America's 5,000 fastest-growing companies in a recent listing. It's time to end taxpayer giveaways to an industry that's never been more profitable and use that money to reduce our deficit and double down on a clean energy industry that's never been more promising. That's almost double what they get today. That's why after 30 years of inaction, we finally put in place new standards that will make sure our cars average nearly 55 miles per gallon by the middle of the next decade, nearly double what they get today. That means you only have to fill up every 2 weeks instead of higher education more affordable, to prevent these interest rates from doubling, to extend the tuition tax credit that saved middle-class families millions of dollars, and to double the number of work-study jobs over the next 5 years. Instead, over the past few years, Republicans were 8 days away from nearly 7.5 million students seeing their loan rates double because Congress hasn't acted to stop it. By the middle of the next decade, cars and light trucks will average almost 55 miles per gallon, nearly double what they get today. That means you'll only have to fill up every 2 weeks instead of every. Shortly after I took office, we invested in new American technologies to reverse our dependence on foreign oil and double our wind and solar power. That's why the budget I'll send to Congress this Tuesday will double funding for clean energy research and development by 2020. Because I believe that rather than double down on policies that allow a few at the top to play by their own rules, we should build an economy where everybody has a fair shot. Everybody does their fair share, and everybody plays by the same set of rules. This is not news to the American people, who over the last decade have seen their out-of-pocket expenses soar, healthcare costs rise, and premiums double at a rate 4 times faster than their wages. Stories like Laura's are being told by women and men all across this country, by families who've seen out-of-pocket costs soar and premiums double over the last decade at a rate 3 times faster than wages,